you should see the faces people would make when they would try Stone IPA for the first time. And then they'd ask for their major light beer brand. It's like, oh, that's more like it. That's real beer. So knowing that most people can't stand our product, it's really a great source of pride for all of us who work here. Because the people who do like it love it. So instead of trying to be all things to all people, you know, we're looking to be all things to a few people, you know, and it seems to work. Great smell them. Hops do three things to a beer. They give it that bitterness that nobody liked the first time they tried it. And at Stone, we load up the hops. So our beers are very bitter, very hop forward. So I just want to lay that out right now. You try some beer at Rip Current, their IPAs. Yeah, some of their beers can be bitter too. Ours can be even more bitter. So if you try our beer in a few minutes and you don't like it, my advice is just to try harder. Just keep trying. It's an acquired taste, but it's worth acquiring a taste for. I mean, I've been at Stone for, I'm in my 12th year now, and it's been a wild ride. When I started, we had 40 employees, and now we're up to about 1,300. So, yeah, just phenomenal. And we are going to be the first American craft brewery brewing from its own brewery in Europe. Greg likes to be first, so we were the first brewery to bottle a double IPA year-round. That was back in 2002. It's our ruination, and we're going to Germany to brew beer. That's like going to Tokyo and opening up a sushi restaurant. It's a little bit of chutzpah involved there, but we're not there to knock German beer. They make fantastic beer. They make the best beer in the world. Of course, they've been making the same beer for 1,000 years by and large. So there is a demand for American craft beer all over the world. We just rolled out into Hong Kong last month. So I was in Hong Kong promoting our beer. When America started brewing craft beer for the first time after Prohibition, this was in the late 70s, early 80s. Pete's Wicked Ale, Sierra Nevada, Anchor Steam, Sam Adams Boston Lager. That's when the glorious revolution started to take hold. We looked to Great Britain and Germany for inspiration and for guidance and for recipes. 25 years later, they're looking at the United States, and in large part to San Diego specifically. I mean, I think it is hard to deny that San Diego really is the world's greatest beer city. Those folks in Portland can stuff a sock in it. Those folks in Portland can stuff a sock in it. We're just going to let it ferment and condition. So what they do is they draw samples off of these tanks on a periodic basis. It's just like testing a cake to see how it's coming along. And they'll also give these to the folks in the quality assurance lab who will analyze the yeast samples, analyze the fermenters, look for possible contaminants and that sort of thing. In fact, other breweries like Ballast Point. Last week I was doing a tour and one of our brewers came bopping through the brewery with a big cart full of Ballast Point beers. They send them here to be tested. And again, we don't just say, hey, you guys go, we want them to succeed. But Rip Current, I would say I would place them in the top 5 breweries that have started up in San Diego in the last 5 years. I mean, and I don't hand out those kind of accolades easily, but man, their beers are just stunning, and they're nice guys, and they really, I think, engender what San Diego craft beer is all about. And yeah, so we're huge fans.
Just real quick.
This is the Lupulin Lust. It's our flagship, most popular IPA. You're gonna get big orangey flavors. And it's that one right there.
Lupulin Lust. Okay, there we go.
So lupulin is the active ingredient in hops. It's like the oil that you get the aroma from. What are you thinking?
So the Lupulin, Breakline traditional Bock won first prize for Box at the Great American Beer Festival. Right there.
Okay, so we can get started. Green Flash is a brewery that's been around since 2002. But we didn't start like normal breweries. Most breweries start with somebody that's making beer. Their beer's really good, so their friends tell them to make more of it. And then they make more of it, eventually they start selling it, they buy equipment, they open a brewery. But Green Flash isn't that way. Green Flash was smart business people that know that if you put the right people in the right positions in a company, you're gonna get the job done, right? That's an important thing, getting the right people in the right positions. So Mike and Lisa didn't have a brewing background, but they did have a passion for beer. And back in 2002, they used to own a bar up on the coast, up in Lucadia. It was about a 5-minute walk from the ocean. This place was called the Boardroom. It was a spot where surfers like to hang out. There was even a spot where you could put your surfboard for before and after your surf session. That's where Mike and Lisa fell in love with craft beer, but more importantly, the people that like craft beer. They're visionaries. Back in 2002, there were about 18 other breweries in town, and that counted the places that were making food too, so brew pubs as well. Now there's over 115 breweries in town. Now at the end of this month, at the end of November, Green Flash and Alpine Beer Company are going to be the only 2 San Diego craft breweries that are in all 50 states. That's pretty impressive. So Green Flash has already been there for about a year, but now Alpine's on board with it. We're actually distributing a beer right now called Pure Hoppiness, all 50 states. That's a big deal. We're really excited about that. We're going to open a second brewery in Virginia Beach to cater to the East Coast. In Poway, we have another tasting room that we highlight our barrel-aged beers and sour beers. If you haven't got into barrel-aged beers or sour beers yet, it's a really cool experience. You put a beer in an old wooden barrel, whiskey, wine, bourbon, rum, tequila, all those things, and it's going to age. And over time, you're going to pick up flavors of whatever was in there beforehand, some of the alcohol, and some of the flavors of the wood itself. It tends to be American and French white oak, so that'll impart some vanilla-like flavors, maybe toffee and even coconut-like flavors. Okay, so barrel aging, the beers come out really complex, they're really dense, a lot of flavors going on in there, they're really fraction. On the perfect day when the sun dips below the horizon during the sunset, you get a little blip of bright green or a bright green flash. It's very uncommon to see. It's a sign of a perfect day, and the conditions have to be exactly perfect to see a green flash, just like they have to be exactly perfect to make great beer.